Welcome back, Michigan fans. Exciting video here today. We're going to be going over some of the top wing recruits in the 2022 Michigan basketball class. No one is committed to Michigan yet, but there's a lot of guys on the horizon. And these are some of the main contenders to be on the Michigan team 2022. Starting with Jett Howard, shooting guard / small forward, 2-3, can play either one, out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, IMG Academy, obviously, on the powerhouse roster. He's ranked 40th on Rivals, 45th on 247 Composite, and 67th on 247, which seems a bit low. I would go closer to 40th in the country right now. And the shooting guard, it says he's 6'5" on this page, on this Rivals page, but I think he's closer to 6'8", is what I've seen when I've been looking. And he looks quite big when you watch the tape. And he's also close to 190 at the moment. Obviously, IMG's a powerhouse team. They were Geico National semifinalists this year, and Jett Howard is teammates with many other high-quality players that Michigan is definitely looking at for 2022. Eric Daly, Jaden Bradley, Jerace Walker, and even more. Jett, if you don't know, is one of the top shooters in his class. Mechanics just perfect. Quick release, smooth stroke. Shot 45% from three in his junior year, and just super smooth overall. Can get a shot off quickly. Off the ball especially, he's a huge threat to defenses with that 6'8" height. Can just spot up, just rise above you, just knock down shots. He's also pretty athletic. Obviously, his dad is Juwan Howard, and he has a good basketball IQ stemming from his father, and plays solid defense because of his strength and his quickness. Definitely is not a defensive liability. Even though his steal and block numbers, I looked not amazing, both below 1 per game when he was playing for IMG, but I'm going to chalk that up to just being on a team with a lot of other active players. He might not have been getting the same numbers he would be getting if he was playing for the university school in Fort Lauderdale, which is where he played up until his sophomore year, and his numbers there were quite good, a lot better than when he played for IMG, where he averaged only 10 points and around 2 assists. But he averaged close to 4 assists per game at the university school in Fort Lauderdale, and he plays some point guard for his AU team, the Knight Riders Elite, down in Florida. And he showcases really good playmaking. He has a great head for the game, which obviously because of Juwan. And recruiting-wise, Jett only has 4 offers. I don't really know why it says 3 there. He has 4 from Florida, Vanderbilt, and most recently Tennessee. Obviously, Michigan has offered him a while back. But I really think this is because teams don't think they can have a fair shot at Jett Howard with his dad coaching Michigan and his brother Jace playing for Michigan. He should have close to 15 to 20 offers with his talent level. His stock has steadily been rising over the last couple months from the 60s to the 40s in rankings, and I think it's just going to keep going up. Jett has kept his recruitment open. He hasn't been he's been unbiased. He's trying to undergo a normal process before making decisions. If you look at his Twitter, he hasn't leaned any which way. And he likes Florida, but I think everyone agrees that he's probably a lock for Michigan. He has 7 crystal balls to Michigan on 247. Obviously, 100% future cast on Rivals and fan cast. So it's looking like he's a lock to the school, especially with Jace already having a lot of fun in Ann Arbor. Jett is a lot more than Jace, I think. This guy will play right away when he gets to Michigan. As a 2 or a 3, a lethal shooter, just anything you really want out of a 2 guard. But he's also tall. He's 6'8", so he could play the 3, and he's a good rebounder and good playmaker. So very excited to see Jett Howard. He should be coming to Michigan pretty soon. He's going to continue to rise, by the way, in these recruiting rankings. Could be nearing a 5-star ranking by the time he commits. Next, we have Ty Rodgers. 82nd on Rivals, 69th on 247, and a solid 49th on the 247 Composite. He's closer to 6'7" than that 6'5" listing, and he's also closer to 200 pounds and 175. He's really big. He looks like a massive wing on tape. He's the cousin of Jason Richardson, so NBA runs in his blood. He's also, I think, family of Brandon, or I can't remember the guy's name, Bowden, something, an Indiana Pacers 2-way player. I can't remember the name right now. But yeah, he's genetically gifted. He grew up in Saginaw, pretty close geographically to the U of M. You can see right around here, pretty close to Ann Arbor. and he plays for Grand Blanc High School. He transferred there for a better academic and athletic fit, which is still very close to Ann Arbor. He led them on a Cinderella run as a 7th seed to win their first ever Michigan State championship. And I watched the state championship game they played against Ann Arbor, where Ty Rodgers he did a lot. He only had 9 points, but he was an all-around performance. He had 7 rebounds, 3 steals, and 3 blocks. And I thought that game really is what's appealing about this guy. Even though he wasn't scoring as much as he could have, he's just unselfish and tough, and he does the little things and just gets rebounds, gets steals. He's a team leader. He has tough energy, good energy, and he was so happy at the end of the game. He was happy. He wasn't too cool for school that they won the state chip. He was legitimately and genuinely thrilled for his teammates. And if you look at his Twitter, this guy is all over Twitter, congratulating guys, retweeting his teammates when they get offers from schools. He seems like a really good guy. Now, he's still a great basketball player. He had games of 34, 26, and 24 points in the Michigan playoffs. He's very versatile. He can handle the ball as a 2-guard, but he's also very good inside and can play the 4, like a stretch 4, but also a bruiser inside with good rebounding skills. His shot mechanics are good. The shooting numbers are not amazing, I will say. They're not great, especially from 3, but he does have good potential as a mid-range player and can hit threes while being a good inside scorer. He was a great dunker in high school, so the athleticism is there, and he has a pro-level body at 6'7", and I'd say 200 pounds probably. He has decent vision in transition, and especially in the half court for a big guy like himself. Played great basketball for Chicago Mean Streets, one of the best teams in Illinois, one of the best AAU teams on the Nike EYBL circuit. Tough defensively, he called himself a pit bull type player, and I totally agree. Even though he's not the best shooter, not the most athletic, not the most talented, he's just such a solid, gritty player. I really like Ty Rodgers. I think he's underrated on Rivals. I think he's closer to top 60. And I think recruiting-wise, Syracuse was the early leader for Ty Rodgers, but Midwest teams have kind of pushed them aside, especially Michigan and Michigan State, obviously the 2 in-state schools. Rodgers officially visited Michigan on June 1st, and he stayed there for 2 days, and he's going to unofficially visit MSU on June 22nd. Other teams that he told Tipton edits that were recruiting him hard, other than these 2, were Houston, UConn, and Purdue. So I think it's kind of narrowing down a little bit with those teams, but I'd still give the 2-horse race right now to Michigan and Michigan State. I don't know. It's close between these 2. Tom Izzo's a tough one, and based on his Twitter, Ty Rodgers is a huge fan of Draymond Green and Miles Bridges, so that's a little concerning, but I still will give the edge in this one to Juwan Howard. I've seen pictures of Ty Rodgers posing with Jordan Poole as a tall 7th grader, dubbed the next Michigan phenom, and Michigan was a much earlier offer for Ty Rodgers than MSU, and it's always been one of his top candidates and felt like a leader. You can see the fan future cast is to Michigan right now, although not super high percentage. 41% is not great, but still that's where people think he's going to go. He did get a crystal ball to Michigan as well on 247, so that is where it looks like he's leading, but it's still close. And I think another reason why he could go to Michigan is because our rotation might be emptier in the front court at the small forward position, especially with Caleb Houston possibly staying 1 year only. I think he'll have earlier minutes at Michigan than he would at Michigan State, and that's a big deal. And he's also talked to Doug McDaniel about forming a college package deal, which would definitely help Michigan if that happened. For the entire time he's been in high school, he's been a top player. For some reason, his ranking has declined down to 82 on Rivals. He was at one point in the top 40. I don't really know why. I think it's just concerns about his shooting and offensive potential, but I think he's just such a hardworking player. He's a humble guy. He's a team player. He's tough. He's unselfish. He's what I think Juwan Howard looks for, and I'm excited. I think he could go to Michigan. So he said he'll make a list after the AAU season ends, college top list, and I think Michigan will be up there on that list. So look out for that. And he also said this about Juwan. He's just a great dude, and he couldn't say enough good things. He's very genuine, loves all his players, and he really wants you to succeed outside of basketball. All exciting things. Now, There's two other guys I'm going to go to. Justice Williams. Both these guys are not in the same mold as the first two. They're smaller. They're more point guard, but they're combo guards. Justice Williams and Chance Westry. Justice Williams is 6'4", 175. He played for Roman Catholic High School in Pennsylvania in his freshman year before he transferred with his teammate Jalen Duran, who's the number 2 overall recruit in the class, according to 247, down to Montverde Academy, the Florida high school powerhouse, obviously. And Justice Williams is ranked very high. He's been a top 30 player for most of his high school career. But his high school stats don't blow you away. They never blew me away. Even at Roman Catholic, they weren't amazing. 7 points, like 3 assists a game. And minutes-wise, at Montverde, he really didn't play that often. He got, like, at most 16 minutes one game. I think he averaged, like, 10 minutes a game and 4 points a game, something like that. So those stats aren't unbelievable for sure. They're just not. But he does have good instincts. He's fast twitch. He's long arms. He's very athletic for his size, even though he's very thin. He can contest a lot of shots. He's a good shooter, and he has great dribbling moves, including a great hesitation. And he has a long list of teams that he says are recruiting him hard. A lot of top teams, not just like random teams. You can see his list includes Indiana, Georgetown, Auburn, UConn, Michigan. Right now, though, I think Purdue is in the lead for this guy. He has not been crystal balled on 247. The Fan Futurecast gives Purdue the lead, and I think he's only visited Purdue so far, and he's only really talked about Purdue. So that's really why it's pretty mysterious where he's leaning right now. But I do give the edge to Purdue over Michigan. I will say for Justice Williams, teammates with Caleb Houston, and Caleb Houston in an interview said he really talked up Michigan to his two teammates at Montverde who are considering going there, which is Jalen Duran and Justice Williams. So it could be a package deal with Duran and Williams. Wherever Duran goes, maybe Williams goes there. I'm not sure, but that's something to keep an eye out for. But yeah, I'm kind of excited to see what this guy does with more minutes next year as a senior. He didn't get to play that much, especially because of COVID. And I think better circumstances, he'll be able to shine more. That's why his ranking is dropping, as you see the red arrow right up there. He is such a talented player. I would not be shocked to see that back up in the top 30 after another full season of play. And Chance Westry, another guy that right now the Fan Futurecast gives Michigan an equal shot as Syracuse in landing Chance Westry. I don't think that's true, but I'll talk about that later. Let's talk about Chance Westry for a little bit. He's 6'5", 185, rangy and athletic is what I'll say. He's a combo guard, not a point guard. He's more of a combo scoring guard than the facilitating point guard. But he attained an elite ranking due to his play at Trinity High School in Camp Hill, Pennsylvania, where he put up just monster numbers. He averaged 24 points a game on 55% shooting from the field, with 4 assists and 3 steals a game, winning the Penn Live Player of the Year in Pennsylvania as a sophomore. So he played that success into transferring to Sierra Canyon, where obviously due to COVID, the hype just didn't get realized. And he did transfer out of Sierra Canyon earlier last month and hasn't locked on to another high school team yet. There was some false talk about him landing at the Patrick School, which is another powerhouse program in the U.S., but he has not declared where he's going, but he will be back in the Northeast instead of in California. Hopefully that's where he feels comfortable. Just hope that nothing's wrong, because there has been some concern about his mindset recovering from the pandemic. But this guy is a very skilled offensive player. He can create his own offense. He has a great mid-range pull-up game, pretty decent three-point shooter in the mid-30s, high 30s for his career. And he's also a very good defensive player with long arms. He's athletic, has good instincts. He is the highest ranked player that I have put on this slideshow, except for the next player who I'll talk about in a little bit. Yeah, he's 6th nationally for point guards, although I do think of him more as a combo guard, and he's top 25 nationally, so very high up there. But I don't think Michigan is where he's going to land. He said that 8 schools are in close contact with him, and Michigan was not on that list. I think Syracuse, Creighton, UConn are much more likely to land this guy, and they have been fighting harder and longer for him than Michigan has. And he also made an official visit to Auburn on Thursday. He hasn't set up an official visit to Michigan or even an official visit yet. I don't think we're going to get Chance Westry, but it's still a little early. I still really enjoy watching his tape, and it's obvious why he's on the fringes of being a 5-star recruit. Now, finally, let's go to Imani Bates. Obviously, it's unlikely he goes to college. He decommitted from Michigan State after an early commitment when he was a sophomore in high school at Ypsilanti Prep, and he is just a once-in-a-generation type player. I don't need to talk too much about Imani Bates. If you're watching this, you've heard enough about him. He just reminds me so much of Kevin Durant. He's just such an athletic player, such a tall, skilled player for his size. He can do a lot of damage on the basketball court, defensively and offensively. He's a nightmare, especially for high schoolers to defend. And as you see, the crystal ball predicts him to go to the NBA. Very high confidence, 9 predictions. And I think will take the G League route. And that's good for him. He'll make money early, and he'll definitely be a top 3 pick in the NBA draft by 2023, I think. So not much to talk about there. I just put him on because Michigan has offered him, and he hasn't necessarily committed to going to the NBA yet. So Michigan offered him. It's unlikely, but Michigan is one of his offers. So I put him on here because he is a great wing. It's not going to happen. I'm sorry. Now, of this list, these 2, I will say, are very likely Michigan. Jett Howard's a lock. Ty Rodgers, I'd give an 80% chance to going to Michigan. The other 2, I'd give much lower chances. Justice Williams, maybe a 25% to 10% chance, and Chance Westry almost no chance at all. So that's the video, guys. Thank you for watching. I'll make more of these recruiting videos. Hopefully you guys enjoy them. And yeah, this will be a very good recruiting class. Jett Howard for sure coming in. Likely Ty Rodgers as well. 2 top 80 players in the country. So yeah, get excited and drop a like if you're a Michigan fan. Peace.